If you're anything like me, you probably hate getting onto sales calls with broke people who can't afford to work with you. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 ways that I qualify my leads financially so I never have to talk to broke people again. Because there's nothing worse than getting onto a call with somebody that you're really excited to work with. You spend 45 minutes going through it, and then all of a sudden they hit you with the I need to think about it, or the this is too expensive for me right now objection, and that pisses you off. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how to prevent that from happening, how I prevent it from happening, and the lessons that I've learned from selling over $2 million personally of coaching in the last few years. So let's get into it. And if you stick around at the end of the video, I got a bonus one for you too, actually, kind of on the back end. So there's gonna be some good stuff here, but let's get cracking. So step number 1, right? And I'm gonna use the Summit Scaling Funnel as well to kind of like share with you exactly what stage we're at here and kind of when to apply these things and how. But like if you look at here, we're gonna start at the top of the funnel, go through the middle of the funnel, and then bottom of the funnel as well, kind of one step at a time. So it's gonna make a lot of sense here. So make sure you're taking notes and then actually take action on the stuff because it's real and it's good shit. So that said, step number 1 is we want to qualify in our ads. Now there's 2 ways you can do this, right? Because if you look at the funnel, like let's say like you put garbage into the top of your funnel, you're gonna get garbage out of the bottom of your funnel. So if you're attracting the wrong people with your ads, you're gonna get the wrong people onto calls with you, which we don't want, right? I don't want to be talking to 20 people every week. I want to talk to 5 people every week that are gonna pay me $8,000, right? Boom, that simple as that, right? So you're probably the same. So what we want to do is we want to qualify in our ads. And if you're watching this video, maybe you've started running ads before, maybe you haven't. That's what I help my clients in my program do. Launch ads, and you can check out the main video on my channel if you want to learn more about that or help them build this entire funnel from scratch. But nonetheless, if you have started running ads, then this is going to be amazing for you. If you haven't, then you better start. Let me tell you that. But anyways, 2 ways you can do that in the ads directly, right? So let's say, for example, like let's take my offer. I work with coaches that are doing at least like, let's say 7 to 30K a month, and that are kind of stuck, they plateaued and just kind of looking to scale past like 50 to 100K a month, right? So that said, I don't work with beginners. I don't have a program for beginners. I got nothing to sell to beginners right now. You can DM me on Instagram if you want the call recordings to a beginner program that I did run. One of my clients went to over 35K a month, teaching people how to play guitar online with that as well. So DM me on Instagram. I can shoot the recordings over to you for free if you'd like. But anyways, so that's kind of who I'm after, right? So in order to directly call out my audience, I can literally say in my ads, which you see this happen a million times, right? Every other fucking coaches coaching coaches ads is literally like, if you're an online coach making over 10K a month, blah, 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 right? You see this all the time, and it's very direct, right? Let's say if we're talking about the same kind of thing, another way we could do it kind of indirectly is like, think about your best kind of clients. So in order to indirectly qualify and get a coach that's doing over 10K a month, right? What are the character traits? What are the qualities that these established coaches have that regular beginners don't, right? Because I don't want beginners in my funnel. I just want people who are already established coming through the top. So then they watch my content, which I'll get to in step number 2. And then they come out the bottom and then they pay money, and then we get them insane results and a disgusting ROI on their investment with us. And you can check out the client wins on my Instagram stories every single day if you're not convinced. But anyways, indirectly, right? So what are some things that established coaches do and struggle with and resonate with that most other coaches don't, right? And so they probably got proof of concept. If you're doing 10K a month, you've got to be relatively decent at what you're doing, at what you're coaching on, right? So you could say like, you're probably incredible coach who gets great results. You've got multiple case studies, and you know how to sell. You just need more people to sell to, right? So obviously it'll look a little bit different. Like I probably wouldn't use that as like my first line, but you definitely can as well. Maybe like tweak this a little bit, but you get the point, right? So most coaches that are doing over 10K a month probably are great at what they coach on. They have great results. They've got case studies and proof of concept for their offer. They know how to sell, but they just have a lead problem, right? They just need more leads to sell to, which is exactly what we solve, right? So rather than saying explicitly and sounding like everybody else that says, if you're making over 10K a month as a coach, then this kind of flies under the radar a little bit. It sounds less like an ad and actually hits a lot harder. So that's one way to get really good leads coming through. Whereas if you're really broad in general, then it's easy for this to like flop, right? It's easy to just get like a ton of leads coming through the top of your funnel that aren't actually like qualified leads. And then you're gonna get broke people in, right? For a fitness offer, for example, like you can directly say, like, if you're a business owner making over 10K a month and you want to get in shape, or you want to get shredded, blah, 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 right? Or indirectly, you could say, like, if you're a career-driven man who is crushing it at work, but you've let your health take a back seat as a result of being so busy, here's how to get six-pack abs in time for summer. Like something like that, right? So it's like they're crushed. So you're making the assumption, you're kind of assuming that they are your audience indirectly by the things that you're calling out, right? And the way that they're feeling. So you're crushing it at work, you've got the financial side dialed in, but like your health has taken a back seat as a result. And like, I can't tell you how many people there are like that. And like, that's how I've helped fitness coaches scaled over 50K a month with a similar angle there. So that's how you qualify with your ads. So that way you're attracting the right people to the top. So then you get the right people going through all your content and sales assets. You get the right people having conversations with you, getting on calls with you, and then joining your program. And this is going to significantly increase your closing rate. Step number 2, right? Content. So we want to qualify on our content. We can take this one step further, right? So we want to identify our best clients. So for example, we kind of alluded to this a little bit in step 1 of like, I don't want to attract beginners because I don't work with beginners, right? I love working with more established coaches because they get better results a lot quicker. Their mindsets are a lot more developed. They ask less stupid questions and they pay more as well. And like, I resonate with them a lot more too, because I'm not a beginner anymore. And it's just so much fun, and they're actually good at what they do. So they're not like scamming people. And I can't stand that. So anyways, my best clients, right? Who are they? Who are the clients that get the best results in the shortest amount of time? We'll say this, right? Best results, the quickest, least amount of your effort or energy, right? They don't ask lots of stupid questions. They're action takers. They contribute to the community, right? They add value. They pay the most, pay on time, pay in full, stuff like that. I'll make a whole nother video diving into this as well, but identify all that stuff, right? Figure out who that best client is, not your dream client, not your ideal client, who's your best client, and then make content only geared towards them. So for example, like beginners that are just trying to package up their offer, position it, and kind of just like figure out what their niche is, they're not worried about financially qualifying leads because they don't have any leads in the first place, right? So this video is not for them. This video is for somebody who's already established, who has a bunch of leads, or at least a handful of them, but they're sick and tired of the quality, right? So here's a live example of that. Step number 3, this is kind of the bottom of funnel, right? The sales process. Now we can say like setting, we'll say setting/sales process. So you can qualify in the conversations that you're having with people on Instagram, for example, right? So if you're in the DMs, you're talking to somebody and whatnot, like qualify here, right? So you can ask questions of like, you can do it like directly, for example, like let's say a B2B offer like mine, business to business, where I'm selling to business owners, right? Instead of asking like, well, I mean, you can ask like how much you're making per month right now, right? I'm pretty direct. Like I don't really give a shit. So I'd like, because I know what I have and I know like every client that I work with is going to be better off served by working with me. And it's their loss if they don't, because of like our track record and our case studies. I'm not afraid of being like straightforward. I'm a very straightforward guy, and I think it's very like on brand with that and in alignment. So you can do that if you want. Some people are turned off by it. It doesn't matter. But like one way you could do it is just kind of ask like, oh, nice, what do you charge? right? Like, how much is your program? Oh, sweet. How many clients have you worked with? If somebody tells me this, or if I ask this question, somebody tells me, oh, they've only worked with like 4 clients. I'm like, okay, they're probably not doing like 7 to 30K a month or like 5 to 30K a month, right? So then they're probably not an amazing fit for my program, which means they probably don't have much money to pay for the program, and then also a couple grand a month to spend on ads as well, right? So that kind of sucks. So I'm like, okay, disqualify, move on. Send them to YouTube, get them nurtured, help them, give them some free stuff to help them get to that level that I need them to be at in order to actually be a good client to work with and for me to accept them into the program. Let's say for like a fitness offer, B2C, right? So you're selling to regular people, just regular human beings that aren't business owners, or maybe they are, but like, let's say like a fitness offer, right? You're helping people get in shape. So instead of asking like, how much money do you make per year? Most people, like 99% of people, don't like talking about money, right? They're like, they have a weird perception around money. They don't like talking about, right? So you could say like, oh, what do you do for work? And then right there, you can assume based on what they say, like, oh, I'm a structural engineer. You're like, oh, okay, this guy's got money. He's financially qualified, right? And then engineers make a lot of money. And then like, if they say like, oh, I work at McDonald's, you're like, okay, this guy probably isn't what I need, and they're probably not going to buy my $3,000 fitness coaching program, right? So that's a really good way to kind of weed people out there. Because no matter what you do, like in your ads and your content, you're still going to get people that slip through the cracks. You're still going to get people that come in and they're not amazing and they're not like super good quality leads, right? It's inevitable. It's going to happen with any funnel you build, right? It's fine. Deal with it. But this is how we can deal with it. So that's how you do it kind of in the conversations, right? Obviously, a couple little examples. We can go into a lot more depth if you'd like. On any steps of these, like let me know down below in the comments if you want me to like go deeper on ads or content or setting or whatever in YouTube videos. Like let me know. I literally manage my YouTube channel and I read every comment. It's me replying, so I use that for inspiration for videos. So let me know what you need and I'll serve you. I'll do that, right? So forms. So let's say they agree to get onto a call. You send them your calendar link, right? How do we further qualify? Well, we can have like questions in our calendar form, right? So you can add questions in your Calendly form that qualify them, right? So for example, like with here, I'm very blunt, like I said, and I literally just say like Summit Scale is $8,000, right? USD, it's $8,000. And then I basically say, can you afford it? Right, we do payment plans and stuff like that. That's totally fine. So you don't need like 8K to pay in full immediately. I prefer that because then you're like 100% financially bought in. But I understand a lot, like some people don't have that. And then if we split up, then you got a little bit more money to spend on ads and whatnot. Just shoot me a DM on Instagram, Jeremy_Pogue, and we can chat about that as well. Or you can book a call down below. But anyways. Can you afford it, right? So I'm very blunt, like I said, very straightforward and direct. Another way you can say is like kind of give a bit of a range. You could say, because we've got this track record, because we've served 250 clients, or because we've helped 250 career-driven men get shredded, predictably and consistently, our program's not cheap. That said, which best describes your financial situation, right? And you can maybe even give them a range there too. You'd be like, like on the low end, it's 2K. On the high end, it's 4K, depending on what you need. And then from there, like you can say, I have like, just have like 3 options. They can say, I have the money, I can get the money, or I do not have the money, and I'll cancel my application or my call, right? So that way you can kind of see. And then if they say, like if you give them a bit of like a ballpark range, a couple grand, then you can actually see, and they can see whether or not they can actually afford it. And then like that way you avoid people coming on and saying, oh, I thought it was like $100 or $200 or something like that. And you're like, no, it's $3,000, right? And then you just waste 45 minutes of your life that you're never going to get back. So anyways, that's how you do it there. And then step number 4, the bonus. So the disco, what this means in English, right? So far what we've done is we've covered step number 1, which is kind of our top of funnel, how to qualify your ads. Step 2, how to qualify in your content, right? So how to make content specific to the only to the people that you want to attract, that are your best customers and stuff like that, right? And then people are still going to slip through the cracks. So then in the DMs, you can qualify in the conversations and then also in your calendar form even more. And then finally, the discovery process on a sales call. So this is a bonus because it's kind of like our last resort. So what you want to do in your discovery process is ask questions early on in the sales call to kind of like gauge interest or at least get a bit of an idea on like where they're at financially, right? So you could ask again, oh, so what do you do for work? Nice. How long have you been doing that for? Oh, cool. All right. And like, let's say if this is I got a lot of questions, so before we get into this, before we get into it, I just want to get a bit of a ballpark. Like, let's say it is a good fit and I can serve you today. Like, are you willing to invest into this? Like, is this a priority for you right now? And then that way you can kind of like weed that out a little bit more. So there's a bit of a bonus. So if you do that kind of like within the first 5-10 minutes, then you don't have to waste 45 minutes if they say no, right? I probably wouldn't recommend this like straight out the gate. Because if you haven't taken a ton of sales calls, then this might turn some people off. And especially if you don't really know how to handle it, it could take the conversation a little off. But nonetheless, it's really good if you do have an issue. Now, here's what I'm going to say as a kind of a caveat to all of this. When you launch a new funnel, this is a process we take every single one of our clients through. When you launch a new funnel, we want to establish flow initially, right? We want to get proof of concept with the funnel. So these are all arrows. We want to get a ton of flow coming through, right? So you got tons of flow through the top, tons of flow through the middle, and then tons of flow through the bottom of the funnel as well, right? And what this is going to do, naturally, we want to, step one, optimize for volume until we get proof of concept that we're attracting some of the right leads, right? Most are going to be unqualified at the start. That's fine. But we want to get proof of concept that at least we're getting some of the right people. And then only after we get proof of concept and our ads are cranking, they're attracting the right people. We've got our content, VSLs, retargeting ads all dialed in to nurture and pre-sell a lot. And we're having conversations with people and getting them onto calls, right? Then we optimize for quality. So I see a lot of people just like getting spoiled and only wanting to do quality at the start. But like the problem with that, if you tighten all of this up very quickly straight out the gate, you're not going to have a lot of flow coming through. So you might not think that the whole thing works at all. You might think that the whole thing's broken, whereas in reality, you just added too much friction. So we want to remove all the friction at the start, get the flow coming through until like your calendar's packed. And then that way we've got proof of concept, the ads, the middle of the funnel, and then the bottom of the funnel. And then we add friction to qualify more when it becomes a problem. And then that's when you get a really nasty, lethal sales funnel that just prints cash for you, right? And then you get tons of customers. And then what I help my clients do is create back-end service delivery problems because they're signing too many clients to handle, which is an amazing, amazing problem to have. So that's it. If you want to be like my clients and get my direct help with that, you can check out the main video on my channel. I'll break down the whole process. And you can also message me over on Instagram too with any questions. I'll get back to you myself. Right now I don't have a setter, so it'll be me. And that could change by the time this video launches, but nonetheless, if you got any questions, just let me know, okay? And aside from that, you can book a call down below. Make sure you bring your credit card. You're not wasting our time. We don't do sales calls anymore. They're enrollment calls. So do your homework, watch my client interviews, go look at my client story wins on my Instagram. I got a playlist of client interviews here on my YouTube channel. Watch the main video on my channel where I break down the whole funnel and the program and the process. And aside from that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.